Plumbing for residential use, water lines, irrigation systems. Question: the this gadget here is a pressure reducing valve. This helps if one's pressure is extremely high or somewhere thereabouts. The range it may give, it may be 25 to 75 psi. So 75 is a good, 65, 75 is a fairly good pressure. So anyway, what happens here if we take the pros and the cons? What happens if you do nothing? Do not put a pressure reducing valve on. Your pressure's high. Who knows what will happen? Okay, the cons are you may continue to experience broken water lines, broken water fittings, short-lived hot water heaters, repeated calls from the plumber at $350 a pop, so which can get very expensive. So the ideal situation, if the pressure is too high, is to put a pressure reducing valve on. So once the pressure reducing valve is installed, the range again may give you around the range of about 25 to 50 psi. I mean 20. Excuse me. Let me correct myself. 25 to 75 psi. 65 to 75 psi is a great water pressure. Anything above 75, you're starting to get on the high side. Anything above 80, 85, it gets a little sketchy at that point. But so to address this, if we need to adjust the water pressure, how do we adjust the water pressure? Very simply, this PRV valve, or at the plumbers, you may hear the term PRV valve. A plumber may use this term. That's simply a truncated version for pressure reducing valve. That's an acronym, I'm assuming, pressure reducing valve. So to adjust the pressure yourself, or whoever, plumber or do-it-yourselfer or whatnot, take this bottom nut here, in my opinion, and loosen it up. Once it's loose, back it off, not all the way up, but then, and take the top nut and take a wrench and turn it clockwise. And once it's turned clockwise, the pressure should increase. Now, if you have one of those little gauges that you can screw on your hose pipe and get the static water pressure, and open it up and do this. Sometimes it can turn into a two-man job because you need one person watching as you turn it to see the pressure increasing, or because sometimes these are underneath the house, they're in the lawn, and so it's kind of difficult to be ubiquitous, and so at this point, just if you had somebody watching the gauge, and when you say give it a quarter turn, they can say, well, did you see it increase? Give it another quarter turn. Did you see it increase? Give it a half a turn, etc. Once you get it to the pressure you would like, the optimum pressure, then take the nut and screw it back down. I'm not certain if you have to lock it very hard. I personally, I always just kind of hand tighten them so they're easy to get back off in the future. But that's just the way I do it. But that's not to say that's the correct way to do it, or incorrect, or notwithstanding. So again, to recap, this is a pressure reducing valve. If your water pressure is over 75 psi in the home, install one of these. When you install one of these, your pressure, you should be able to keep your pressure somewhere in the range of 25 to 75 psi, ideally 65 to 75 psi. And then this perhaps may help your hot water heater, your pipes not bursting as much, and etc. So and then you just have to kind of fine tune it, get it set to where you like it, or to the exact PSI or whatever you feel in the house, whatever feels comfortable to you. But if you leave this off and you have high water pressure, then you're going to have problems. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if your street, neighborhood to neighborhood, may have different water pressures. So if your pressure is low in your neighborhood, you may not need one of these. You need to check your pressure, have the plumber to check your pressure to be able to tell what the static pressure is. Once you understand the static pressure, then if the pressure is around 50 to 60, you would not need one of these at all. But if the pressure is over 75, 80, 85 pounds, my opinion is it would be advantageous to put one of these in. So again, pressure reducing valve. In order to set it, loosen this nut up, turn this clockwise, and the pressure should increase. Thank you for watching.